Apple, one of the biggest companies known to man. Today, we have a story that goes into Apple in general. Well, their softwares, and more. So please sit back, relax, as I go into Macaware on this episode of Realm of Nightmares.
A year or so back, I was browsing around for some Mac antivirus software. I was well aware that macOS had a limited amount of security measures in place, and that viruses are still easily acquired on the platform. Don't buy that myth that they aren't. The computer, or rather the laptop, that I wanted to protect was a MacBook Pro 9.2, mid-2012. I was conscious that it was a tiny bit slow and quite outdated, so I was aiming to pick up a light antivirus. I think it was fall 2019, around September or October, when I went on this scavenger hunt. I knew the macOS community liked to tweak and add a lot of things to do with the operating system and the software. I searched for maybe 15 minutes that day, before stumbling across a recommendation for a Macaware antivirus on one of the smaller community boards. The board itself was hosted on some basic website, the type that reek of being coded by an amateur. It was just a plain gray-blue background with darker boxes and black text for post. I swear it was called something stupid like Macintosh Pals, but I'm not sure. It had Macintosh somewhere within the domain name. That's all I remember for certain. I can't find it anymore. At least, not yet. I also recall that the website had one was Mac user number random numbers, and people could just write without having to log in or sign up. The forum also lacked any form of liking or upvoting system. Looking back, I should have maybe understood why the website appeared so bland and suspect looking. But it's too late for that now. Anyway, the original post was someone asking if they knew of some good Mac antiviruses. And in the second reply,
Understandably, I immediately went to the launchpad to run the software and check it out. I already had it in the back of my mind to delete it if it wasn't any good or looked as though it was poorly made. The antivirus took a few seconds to open up, but when it did, things seemed entirely as expected. A quite bland, serviceable interface with a white, gray, and red theme. Dark gray text and a big formal-looking Macaware with the red underline in the top right. Within the protection there is an optional for quick or full scan. The ability to scan recently downloaded files open to quickly remove junk files and prepare pages, which made me less corrupted files. Anyway, it looked like the real deal, so it stayed on my lap. As far as I could tell, it worked. It had flagged something in an old game that I was attempting to pirate and download a few days later. So, to my foolishly oblivious eyes, the software was entirely trustworthy and doing a satisfactory job at protecting me. Besides, it never asked for pay, not even donations. It never threw me any false, left blank amount of issues with your PC. The software, on the surface, was merely doing its job. Eventually, I became curious about this completely software. One day, probably a few weeks later, I took a downloads folder to find that website. And I checked the trash can to see if I could so I started thinking. Software for my MacBook, and I'm pretty sure that I walked away in frustration to play a game or cool off in some way. I just know that I never touch my laptop for the rest of the day. From this point on, after deletion, things had become very odd. Slower than it had
Things get a little disturbing or aggressive from here. So people with cyberphobia or technophobia, please beware. By this point it was December. I hadn't touched my laptop in over a week because I didn't want to reset it, but couldn't tolerate using something that was decaying before my eyes. So when I put it on charge, opening it up and booted it, lots of things were immediately wrong with the computer. Once it had brought me to the login screen, I could see that my background had changed. I didn't know what, because of the blur effect, but it was black with red scattered through it. My user icon, the Earth one, had vanished entirely. I didn't know this was possible. All I had was a password entry field in front of me. So, with anxiety building, I entered the password. The laptop, after a small stutter, proceeded into the desktop, and it revealed the program. The laptop, after a small stutter, proceeded into the desktop, and it revealed the background as plain black filled with "Be Macaware" repeated across it horizontally, and in vertically thin red font. I guess by this point I had finally figured out what caused this. I tried going into the Finder and then the settings, but nothing would open. Safari wouldn't open either. Before I could really settle my frustrations, the photo booth app opened and the webcam came on. Signified by the little light. It started taking several pictures of me. After dealing with my shock, I had put my hand over the webcam, but it had a view of my face by this point. With my right hand over the webcam, I spammed C, M, D, and Q. With my left one to try and close the software in the taskbar, Mail, Safari, Photos, and Messages were bouncing up and down, showing that they were in the process of opening. Safari, surprisingly, was the first to open. It loaded up Wikipedia, several pages of terror attacks, porn sites, and gore videos on Best Gore and Live Leak. I think it got to 10 or so tabs. I couldn't force quit any of the applications. I have no idea if the shortcut was disabled, or if my poor laptop just couldn't process everything all at once. Please keep in mind that photo booth was still actively snapping pictures in the background. I was frantic, mainly because of the webcam. Not so much because of the web pages. I tried holding the power button and then rapidly pressing it, but the laptop wouldn't shut off. I noticed from the tiny bit that I could see along the bottom that the background had changed. I can't confirm, but I think it was the photos that I was snapping of me on Photo Booth. It looked like a dark picture with a tiny amount of light seeping in from somewhere. Eventually, Siri dragged her way onto the screen and started listening for a command. I don't know if this was part of the attack or if I accidentally enabled her somehow. Siri's voice was fragmented because of my laptop attempting to process everything. It didn't last very long after this point before crashing to a black screen.
Okay, thoughts? When I saw that, I thought it'd be worse than it ended up being, but it really wasn't creepy. It just started being a malware story. I mean, that's bothersome and all, but it didn't end up being the thing I thought it would be. But yeah, Macaware was made by, G. Stevenson 98. Your story was better than I thought it would be, but it's, I can't really describe how I feel about it. Thank you for all for watching Realm of Nightmares. Like, comment, subscribe, and recommend any other creepypastas you want me to read. See you next episode.